I'm back again to share with you a couple of bonus cards. We created a process video with the Just For You card kit, and in that video I shared with you the pieces that were left over. They're right under here. And today's video we're going to be creating 2 bonus cards using the card kit leftovers. There are 3 12 by 12 sheets of pattern paper left over in this kit. I'm not going to use those today because if you want to pick up an extra sticker sheet, you can actually double your cards. Instead of creating 8, you could create 16 cards. So I know a few of you have did that, so we're not using those 12 by 12 sheets. But we have plenty of pattern papers here and plenty of stickers to create 2 fun cards. So let's jump in and get started. I went ahead and created my card bases for today. These are Photoplay Paper's A2 card bases. They come 20 in a pack at a very good price point. They're pre-scored, so all you have to do is fold them in half. The weight on these is about 80 pounds, so it's a nice weight. They're nice and white, bright white and smooth. I also want to mention for today's cards, we're going to be using a few of the supplies that we needed to create the original cards. For example, we're going to be using the 2 dies that we used when we created the card kit cards. This first die is 3 1/4 inches wide. The second die is 2 1/2 inches wide. So a 3 1/4 inch circle, 2 1/2 inch circle are what we're going to use today. I'm also going to bring in a corner rounder. We used this making our 8 cards from our Just For You card kit. And I'm going to start by just rounding the corners of one of my card bases. I'm rounding the right side, okay? And we're going to put this card base aside and work on our very first card. For our first card, we're going to make a floral card. So I had already removed the floral stickers, the larger ones. I removed the tackiness with my anti-static powder tool, and then I popped them up with some foam tape. Okay, removing the tackiness is nice because if you place this on your card base and you pop it up with a piece of foam tape and you mail it, chances are your sticker is going to stick down like this. So it kind of defeats the purpose of popping it up with foam tape. So removing the tackiness really does help out. Make sure card's extra dimensional. We're going to put this to the side, and I picked out some pattern papers for this card. These are the pattern papers that we're going to be using for our first card. And then I also have a panel. This measures 3 3/4 inches wide by 5 inches tall. I'm going to round the corners on one side of this also. Okay, so we have the right side rounded, and then I'm going to take, I left them together. You may have trimmed them out, but that's okay. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to trim away the left side of this. This is going to go over here. Now, when I trim this, I have a little bit of that red cardstock showing, so I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim that off. It's just very little that's showing, but against the white background, I didn't want you to be able to see the red. We're going to start by taking our stripe paper here. I'm going to flip it over, just using my glue. We're going to add this to the front of this panel that we created. We're going to go ahead and take this piece with the hearts on the bottom. We're going to add this just over the stripe paper. When creating our 8 cards from the Just For You card kit, I did bring in some white twine. So I'm going to use the same twine. I doubled it up and tied the bow off to the right. I'm just going to trim the tails real quickly. Wonderful. I'm going to flip this panel over and I'm going to adhere it to the front of this card base. Now we have this strip of pattern paper. The reverse side has these stripes. I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to create a fishtail banner at the bottom. So we're just basically going to trim that out. Okay, this is going to go on my card here. No worries about this because we're bringing in our flowers. I'm going to go ahead and remove the release paper off of our flowers. And we're going to go ahead and add these. Okay, I'm bringing in some liquid pearls. I also used this when we created with our Just For You card kit. And I'm going to add some flower centers. You can see the dimension that that adds. Now for this card, we're going to need a greeting. And in our stamp set, we have the happy birthday. We're going to tuck this right under those flowers, right above our bow. And we'll just tack this down. And that finishes our first bonus card. We're going to jump right in with our next card. For my next card, we're going to do a little bit of layering with the plaid papers. We have a few plaid papers that are really similar. We have the green, the red, and the blue. I'm going to take this and trim away. So we have blue, yellow, green, and red. We're going to layer all of these together. And then I'm going to do one more line of glue, and I'm going to add some more of the green plaid. I'm just making sure that I have enough room on this panel that we're creating so I can die cut this out. I want a circle created with this. And I think that's going to work out good. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and then while I'm doing that, I'm going to create a circle using some white cardstock. So we have our circle cut out and we have our white circle. We're actually going to layer these together, so let's do that now. Next, I'm going to take a black marker and I'm going to do some faux stitching around this white circle. Wonderful. Now we have some black detail around that circle. For this card, we're going to be using this piece of paper that's left over. What we're going to do is add this of a panel that measures, this measures 3 3/4 inches wide by 5 inches tall. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my glue. We're going to just add it directly to our panel, and then I'm going to place it to where the hearts are in the middle. Once this is adhered, I'm going to take this piece of pattern paper. It has the polka dots on it. I'm going to add a thin bead of glue, and we're going to add this right next to our hearts. We'll just tack this down, and anything overhanging with this we're going to trim away. Now I'm going to bring in some more of that white twine, and we're going to wrap it around the seam of the pattern paper that has the hearts and the stripes. I'll tie a bow off to the left here. Okay, I'm going to take our card base. We're going to make a landscape card for this. This is going to go in the center. We're going to add our circle next. And I did add some foam tape behind here. For this card, we're using the butterfly and the greeting that says it's your special day. I put foam tape behind here, and I also put foam tape down the back of this butterfly. I'm going to remove the release paper and fluff up these wings, and I'm going to tilt this just a little bit on our circle here, and then I'll add my greeting just under the wing. We'll do a little bit of tucking here. And then I did, instead of placing my butterfly at an angle, I decided to put it right in the center of my circle here. Okay, we're going to bring in some flower centers with liquid pearls, and we'll add some detail to our butterfly. Okay, I think that's the lovely dimension that those liquid pearls gives, and that will finish off our bonus card number 2. let's take a look at both cards that we made with the Photoplay Papers Just For You card kit leftovers. I hope this gives you a couple more ideas on what to do with those leftovers with the card kits. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.